Friday, right? Hope you guys are doing well out there. I just want to say thank you so much to every and anyone, someone, each one for coming in last night or the wee hours of the morning. I mean, I had kind of a mentally, menacing kind of a morning, but that was lacked due to some motivation. But thank you guys so much for coming out last night. We got into a couple of things, and I'm just telling you, there's a lot of friendly lines out there. And if I get a chance, I'd like to come in and talk to you guys about some of these things later today or this evening. We'll see. Definitely I anticipate I'll do a stream by the weekend. Okay, I anticipate that I will. But right now, a bunch of lines out there. I can give you a little snapshot, a little teaser. For one, it looks like your favorite climate czar, or presidential climate envoy, John Kerry, is basically, he's ready to destroy farming in the name of climate change. John Kerry, right? Second up, we've got an analyst that's talking about how the mocktail is responsible for 600K expirations, and Minnesota is ready to give free college tuition to illegals. So I'm telling you, and then also, what is it? The Dutch farmers are also being challenged to cull 200,000 cattle in the name of climate change. So I'm telling you, you got a whole lot of things going on. A whole lot. And I will do my best to bring you some of that. It's a lot, folks. It's a lot. And I'm telling you this, it's like the food supply is going to get, the issues with food supply is going to get real. I don't know the day, time, or hour. I'm not here. I'm not your prophet. I'm not any of that. I'm just telling you, based on my research, based on my experiences, based on research. And let me tell you, in order to research something, you have to start with reading. You have to think about reading. You have to think while reading. You have to think before reading. You have to think after reading. So that's what's going on, okay? So you got a lot of friendly lines Friday. We're going to start having the friendly lines Friday. Okay? And when I say friendly line Fridays, I'm being a little bit, it's a little verbal irony for you. You can handle it. So, we'll be dealing with that. Okay? I'll try to get you at some point, I'll try to get you into the studio. I really appreciate it. Shout out to Uncool Paranoia. Shout out to Putt Putt. Shout out to Independent United. Independent Mini United. Shout out to Mill something. I can't remember your name. Some of you guys, I'm thinking maybe you're new to the channel, but I've done a lot of landscaping in the past. You can go into the archives of this particular channel and you can find climate change postings. You can go all the way back to 18. In which you had AOC and the Green New Deal, all of these deals, right? We've had enough deals. I don't know about you, but I've had enough deals. I've seen what the deals can do, and the deals just keep robbing people all day. The crises. You got these food crises, the CC crisis. The illegal immigrants, legal alien crises. This business, I will try not to get too meaty because I'm on a mobile stream right now. But I just wanted to thank you guys so much, of course, and tell you about 4 lines. Just about every institution is being affected by the globalists right now. Your education, they're picking winners. They pick the winners and losers, and most of the time they pick more losers. Because when people start messing around with the food supply, whether it's on the federal level, globally messing around with this food supply. The Dutch have been fighting and carrying on, but America's not doing anything. Okay, America's got to be on one of the biggest lulls in the history of civilization, the current civilization. Everything I've mentioned, everything from food supply, global food supply, domestic food supply. I talked about Eric Adams and what he's trying to do with New York, because once upon a time, one of these fad diets starts with a V. Now he's inclined, he should choose what these New Yorkers can eat. He gets to decide what the people of New York, how much meat they can have in public, how much meat you can consume in public. But I'm telling you guys, we're on a slippery slope here. You are on a slippery slope. So what I'll probably do is come back. But yeah, check. So you got Minnesota getting ready to give illegals free college tuition. Your climate czar envoy, John Kerry, he's going to tell you how farming needs to be basically abolished. They're going to abolish farming in the name of CC change. And they front loaded with all this carbon footprint BS alert. Garcetti to the north of you, if you're not in New York, is going to tell you how much meat you can eat in New York, because he's elite. He can tell you, he's boule, so he can tell you how much meat you can eat in public. I'm telling you, this stuff is dismal, and it's very, very irritating, and it's very, but to me, this it can't be anything new. They have to have been doing this thing for a long time. Hi, Miss Maskless. Good morning. How are you? Thanks so much for tuning in. But yeah, I just, we talked about this. Yeah, we're talking about the culling. The Dutch farmers are having to cull 200K cows in the name of CC. Looks like the insurance companies are analyzing the amount of people that have been affected by the mocktails to the tune of 600K. I'm telling you, there's these are friendly lines. There's at least four lines. But some of these lines wrap back into the things I was talking about last night. We're talking about resources and food chain and food supply. This is war. Because you can control people from their gut. Your health is your wealth, as they say. Your health is in your gut. And when these people start, if they're going to turn everybody into vegans and vegetarian, okay, at first they're going to ask you to do it, and then next they're going to force you to do it. Is that how this works? Is that what I'm telling you, this whole thing about democracy? Every one of these people have that. Try to hide behind that. They're going to control what you can eat. Everybody's not the same. A vegan, vegetarian diet does not work for everybody in the population. And you cannot tell me that there, things were put here for a reason, and this is not man's earth. He's not in control. Okay? And I'm not an anthropologist by any stretch, but if you just look at the makeup of man, the way our teeth are made, you can look at the way we are made. We're not made to be straw and hay and mealworms and BS alert. We're not made to do that. And then they want to try to attach everything. All of a sudden, there's a global concern for your health and you eating healthy. But you know, during the demic, you know, they were incentivizing people eating fast food junk, burgers, donuts. They came to the American people. These so-called leaders and handlers came to their people, leading the campaign, you know, holding a carrot of junk, promoting junk during that whole demic. And now all of a sudden you're worried about Americans' obesity levels. You're worried in conjunction with and worried about asthma. And look, this is World Economic Forum. The script is already there, okay? It's already there. They were feeding. They wanted to serve you decadence, lewd, and lascivious behavior. They were ready to serve you anything that they could put down your trough. But now all of a sudden, they're worried about the planet, and they're worried about the, you know, they were pushing that too. So it's just a perfect storm of fear, chaos, and yeah. You know, problem, reaction, solution is what it is. So yeah, I mean, like, I want to get into those lines as soon as I can, but I can't right now. It will be probably later. We have an expose on a lot. I mean, but this is the thing, you know, America seems to be happy with exposés and political theater. They seem to be, you know, they always go, well, the founders this and the founders that. And I'm like, okay, I think you know, call me crazy, but the founders, nobody is that prophetic. Unless you were set up. To me, you were being set up. Okay? There's no way George Orwell and the founders were just that prophetic without having somebody, without some kind of a tip or some kind of clue. I'm sorry, but the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and all that stuff, it's not the Bible. It's not the Bible. And nobody should look to that as a prophetic as the word. It's not your savior. None of these politicians are your savior. None of these, I believe these people think that these founding fathers they regard them higher than they do God Almighty. They do. That's not your father. Not heavenly or earthly. No, it's not. And I cringe to think that thing that's in the office right now, that people will be calling him a father. Yeah, he'll be a father of destruction. One of those. One at a time, right? So I'm just saying, to me, this stuff was put in place a long time ago. And then another point that somebody else was making, this was not mine, but we are bombarded with a lot of information, but it's not real knowledge. Some of the things that we're getting is not real knowledge. So they pump, a lot of things are pumped out, and sometimes we don't even know why we get a hold of certain information, because our hands are tied. This is not 1776, regardless as to what people, you know, as we're romanticizing it as people want to be about it. That's not what year, date, time, and hour this is. No. Technology has an industrialization, and technological industrialization, that's over, done with. They got us all by the short hairs, or they say by the balls. No. You're not at 1776. No, you're not. That will not be, you won't see that again. No, you won't. Because you'll be destroyed by the technology that they brought in to bring us to the point at which we're in. Just about, if you look back in history, you can just look at the writings from the time, from pre-revolution, that the more industrial industrial revolutionized we became, and the more weapons and all this stuff that were developed, the more inconvenient it was to the people's way of life. And yeah, they sold a lot of convenience to you, but they were also stripping you in other ways. And you know, you're going to be disrupted. Look at Schwab. Schwab talked about it in his Fourth Industrial Revolution. He says it is the job of NGOs and governments and governors and city officials to do a great job at convincing you, the plebes and the people and the poor, that what they're doing is for your convenience, that you're going to benefit from it. You're going to benefit from AI. You're going to benefit from 3M printed cars and hearts and technology and systems that can water grain and water the food supply. I'm telling you, and meanwhile they're injecting it with crap, with destruction. I'm telling you, this is very, very, it's too fantastic for some people to believe. It's like, I'll tell you, for a prime example, you know, it's kind of sad to see. A lot of times if you show people something, even they can't deny, they can't unsee what they've seen, but they beg you, oh, let me live in my lie. I just want to be able to go and watch The Little Mermaid, even though there's some coded symbolisms and darkness in there. Just let me live in my lie. I'm like, okay, my God, you're a grown person. Go see it your damn self, but leave these kids out of this stuff. Why do people keep subjecting people to freaking Disney? Why? Why do you feel you need to be why do you crave entertainment from that source? You can't create anything, you can't come up with anything that might be just as entertaining but somewhat valuable. All this hocus pocus stuff. You know, one of the biggest things that I learned, and I'm trying to remember where I learned it from, the concept that we seem to think that, you know, witches and magic, that there can be, that, you know, there's a good magic versus a, you know, magic. It was there. So to me, it's almost like saying that there's a good witchcraft and a bad witchcraft, and through cartoons, that those two things could exist. And still, and your child be under the influence of, it's still, listen, if it's hocus pocus, it's hocus pocus. Magic is magic. And I tell you, be careful with it. Just because they put a girl in front of it, or a boy, or call it black, girl magic, whatever you want to put in front of it. That is you know, it's got all of its little, it's got all of its little, you know, it's got all of it. It's just it's a phrase. It's influential, it is, but I'm telling you, that's what it is. But it's I'm telling you, it just, the stuff that's out here, people don't want to be inconvenienced. They want the wickedness of this world because they crave it. I told somebody the other day, I believe a lot of people would rather stay here in this wicked world than to see what's, you know, than to experience anything else. They would rather stay here. You know, they would rather. They need to be a part of this. They want to be loved by this world. They want to be, and that's, I think, I learned, you know, what being of the world is. And you've got some people that are of the world. They're not just in it, but they are of it. They are of the deception. So, you know, I don't know, like, I'm not going to go see another freaking remake of, how did I get on Little Mermaid? I don't know. I'm just saying the kind of stuff that people sensationalize, and I find it most awkwardly coming from adults. adults seem to be most attracted to freaking Disney. I can't quite understand that. But it is what it is. I find it some of the most narcissistic people, let me put it like that. Narcissistic tendencies, those people are the most attracted. The the woman child seems to be more attracted to Disney than even kids. And see, I think kids are brainwashed into a lot of their attraction without even seeing a Disney movie. How do you know a child wants to see a movie without even, if you haven't exposed them to the freaking, if you haven't exposed them to the freaking previews and trailers and crap, how do you know a child would enjoy that? Because you're doing it based on what you're doing it based on what you're attracted to. That's why. I just have to, just be mindful and thoughtful about what you do. Be mindful about what you do. But you see, the same thing as it was at Harry Potter, like some of these movies, they're all connected to some form of, darkness. It is. But to me, I just, like I said, I have found that the situational irony is that I just don't know what the attraction is. People, of course, we were all children at one point in time, and that fantasy or whatever, pixie dust, whatever. I guess people just really think they can go there. They can go to that utopia, and they can go there and mow on that. They can go and bathe in it. I don't pretend to know what goes on inside people's minds, but it's interesting, this attraction to Disney, and I can't even. I've seen adults taking entire vacations to Disney. What is that? What is it? And do they ask themselves, what is it? What attracts? I said, this person that I was talking about, what attracts you? You're a freaking senior citizen. Why the hell are you attracted to Disney? Disney's Little Mermaid. Why? And they keep remaking stuff, and it just gets worse and worse. Oh, well, let's remake it. Oh, let's put some hocus pocus in it. Let's put some hocus pocus in it that reflects you. Oh my gosh, I tell you, it's exhausting. But I'm gonna get off of here because I already burned some minutes. But I wanted to talk to you guys about some of the stuff that's coming out. These headlines that are out today on this Friendly Lines Friday. There's at least 4 dealing with Minnesota giving free college tuition to illegals. The next thing, what are they doing? I've talked about Chicago at length, but that's still something I really want to get into. I want to do a panel on that. I've got one person that has expressed interest in it, and if you have interest in coming on for a panel regarding the illegals and whatnot in Chicago and the dropping them off in the community, so to speak, send me a message on Gmail, blackspringwithautumn@gmail.com. You can send me a message there. That's absolutely fine to do. Do that. So I would like to try to get to a panel on that. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I think Philadelphia's got some issues with it, but I'm telling you, I don't think it's going to stop there. I really don't. I think it's going to go. This whole illegal situation is trickling down everywhere. It's trickling down everywhere. But yeah, so we're dealing with education. We're dealing with the culling of cows and Dutch lands, all in the name of VC, right? Right. Carbon footprint. John Kerry, same thing. So he's still flying around jets and whatnot, but he's still what he's worried about, he needs to destroy, these people are committed to destroying the food supply, is what they're telling you. That's what they're telling you. They're committed to that. So I'll see you guys later. Thanks so much for coming in. And yeah, we'll see. There's some mocktail news coming out about Americans. Looks like an insurance analyst has been involved. I'm like, okay, now you guys want to analyze it. 3 years to the day, a posthumous analysis now. Okay, that's what we needed. We needed a posthumous analysis of what was going on. Like, nobody could say anything. So now we're just going to let everything corrupt and hainty and disgusting and deceitful about this country come out. Timing, right? Is it? Yeah, and then, people are on to the next thing right now. All right, guys, have a great Friday. And maybe I'll see you later, if not later today. I'll certainly try to get something out this weekend, okay? All right, guys, take care.